All right, guys, welcome to hour number 2 of Wide Awake News Radio. I'm your host, Charlie McGrath, 8th day of November, Thursday. We have Reginald, also known as DimCAD, joining us now, as well as Chris Atkin of BuyEmergencyFoods.com. I'm going to jump right to Reginald because we only got him for a half hour. He's got to run and stimulate the economy at the bottom of the hour, so I'll get him on here really, really quickly. And, you know, again, I just want to say, Reginald, thank you for coming on, but I'm amazed. I'm amazed at how fast things seem to be deteriorating right after this dog and pony show election. Welcome back to Wide Awake News Radio.
Oh, thank you for having me. I was wrong about the puppets, but I was right about the show. And it was It was amazing. Yeah, I predicted. I forecast 4 things. One, that turnout would be lower because people were losing faith in the system. People were no longer buying the lies. 2, Romney will be the new puppet. 3, it didn't really make a difference because their policies were pretty much the same. And 4, after the election, we're headed towards war. Well, I was wrong about 1 and right about 2. It's obvious that Romney and Obama we're heading into the same direction, same policies. There's nothing they could have did with the financial situation. There's no political will among the populace. Simply put, when you look at mandatory spending alone, when you look at the Medicare and Medicaid and all this other stuff, when you look at that alone, that's more than all the money, than the $2 trillion that the United States government, the federal government, brings in through taxes alone each year. So even if you eliminate the entire U.S. military, all the FBI, Homeland Security, I'm talking, and the military includes the Air Force, Army, all of it. Even if you excluded CIA, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The entitlements alone would put us over the amount of money that the government is bringing in each year. Period. It didn't matter who was going to be in office. And even though most Americans agree that we have a massive problem with deficits and they were concerned about it, nobody's willing to actually cut into it. Simply because the system is at a place that is beyond the point of no return. This country is beyond the point of no return. There is no going back. And As far as war, one of my predictions that actually came true is that I said, for the most part, we're not going to go to war in 2012 with Iran because they had to wait until after their dog and pony show. Okay, had they went to war before the election, the dog and pony show, then they would have risked a third-party candidate or some type of wild card getting into office and messing up their plans. It made sense to go ahead and let people go ahead with their election and let them feel like they're part of the system and then move us towards war. So that's why I thought we weren't going to go to war until after this election cycle. And both candidates pretty much proved that they're pretty much the same. Mitt Romney pretty much agreed with everything Obama said, even at foreign policy, and you saw a lot of similarities even when it came to gun rights and things like that. There really wasn't much of a difference this time. And you saw that in our turnout. And for me, that was the best story about this election. A lot of people talking about, oh, so-and-so won this and that, and what should the Republicans do? Turnout was, Obama had somewhere around 8 or 10 million less votes than he did the first time. Okay? And he still won because the Republicans were even less popular. Less people voted for Romney and Paul Ryan than voted for McCain and Palin. So what that means is when you look at both sides of the aisle, overall, people are less and less interested in the election system because I think it's pretty obvious that people realize that there is no real change with these politicians. There's no real contrast. You don't have anything to really choose from. I came across a really great website, blacklistednews.com, and they pretty much had an article about the 2012 U.S. elections. You know, the people have spoken. No confidence. Okay, so Obama had 27%. If you include everybody who voted and didn't vote, Obama had 27% of the votes. Romney had 25% of the votes. And 48% didn't vote. So you barely had half of the population actually participating in this election. I was at go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I want to let you go. I can't add to what you're saying. You're 100% right across the board.
I was at a gas station on election night, working security, armed guard at a gas station. There's actually some good people there. And I was just there, and people walked into the place talking about the election. You would be amazed at the lack of energy compared to 2008, when people were like, yes, we can, and all this stuff. The lack of energy, the lack of real belief in the system was amazing, because even people who supported Obama, you know, this one black guy he came in, his pants sagging off his butt and the underwear showing, whatever. You know, the lady working at the gas station asked him, so you think Obama's going to turn this around or whatever? And there's this long pause. And then he finally said, well, it's going to take more than 4 years, so, which is another line I've heard over and over again. Look, it was obvious that he didn't even believe it. He supported Obama, and he didn't even believe there was going to be a real change. Romney supporters went there and said, well, I hope Obama does something. You know, there's this feeling that, you know, I was in obviously a very rough neighborhood, a poor neighborhood in Flint, Michigan, which is one of the most violent cities in the country. And frankly, even though it's no longer listed as the most violent, it's in the top 5. And frankly, a lot of those crimes aren't even reported. I know that for a fact because I worked as a security guard. I've seen situations where people were strong and robbed, and it didn't even really get reported. But anyway, that's off the subject. I guess we'll get to that in a second. It was amazing watching how people just didn't buy it. There seemed to be a real hopelessness really coming over people. You know, every once in a while I came across somebody said, oh, I feel really happy I voted or whatever, but it felt really empty.
I agree. Listen, Reg, there's nothing there. I didn't interrupt you because I wanted to hear you go on, because you and I are in lockstep, and you know, the predicting of the president and that kind of thing. You know, you and I, even though we pick different people, even though I got it right, 100% right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I wasn't going to say that, but since I went there, I did.
Oh, I wanted to say that. You were absolutely right.
Well, but listen, but look, besides that, we are in lockstep, and we were both in lockstep that Romney, Obama, there's no difference. There was going to be no difference if we one or the other. I think you're 100% accurate when you say that the motivation wasn't there in this election. One thing that I think that is there and is going to continue to get worse is the division between, you know, these camps that was horrid during this election and is even going to be more so now. And I also want to say you were, again, 100% right as far as beating the drums of war, getting us into it. You know, what was it, 48 hours later, and, oh, hey, we shot down, or our drones were shot at over Iran. I had to listen to Bolton, a former UN ambassador today. I caught a clip of him on Fox, of course, and he's talking about, you know, this act by these Iranian jet fighters shooting at a drone, you know, and it's sold as, of course, we're doing nothing wrong. It's a secret covert mission over the Gulf, what am I trying to say? The Persian Gulf over Iran, and we have Iranian jets shooting at it, but they're making a big deal out of it now because I think you're 100% right. They are going to lead us now, since this dog and pony show is over with. They're going to lead us into war. They're going to lead us to the fiscal cliff. The European sovereign debt time bomb has went off and has been on hold for a few months while this election panned out, but it's all coming to play right now.
Yeah, I mean, I love watching Bonner, the Speaker of the House, come out looking pitiful, looking like he was about to cry, talking about, Mr. President, this is your moment. Talking about how they got to work together on this fiscal situation. Here's a reality about the fiscal situation. Okay, when I was talking about mandatory spending, essentially we have $1 trillion deficit right now.
Yep.
We've been for the last 4 years we've had at least $1 trillion deficits. Last time it went from $1.3 trillion to $1.1 trillion. So what that means is every year we an additional $1 trillion. Now, when I talk about mandatory spending, when you add mandatory spending, okay, which is about $2.3 trillion, and you add the $450 billion that we pay alone on the interest on our debt alone, that puts us above what we're actually bringing in.
Absolutely.
We're beyond the point of no return.
Beyond the point of no return. If I was going to title this program tonight, that would be the perfect title, Beyond the Point of No Return. Listen, guys, if you have a question, we got a lot of your fans in the chat room, Reginald. 119 people in there. If you got a question for Reginald that you have to ask him, 877-342-6673. He's only going to be here for this next segment, which is only about 6.5 minutes long. Get on the phones now. We're going to be back with Reginald and Chris Atkins, birthday boy Chris Atkins, and more Wide Awake News Radio in just a minute. Rare coins and bullion. What do they know that we don't? Insiders and a who's who list of elite have made it crystal clear that we are headed for catastrophe, putting out warning after warning, urging people to batten down the hatches. Billionaire George Soros has recently been dumping stocks and at the same time acquiring millions in gold. In fact, in a recent interview, he was quoted as saying, "I'm not here to cheer you up. The situation is as serious and difficult as I've experienced in my career." Out of control government deficit spending and a Federal Reserve that's only solution seems to be print more fiat currency will lead to a weaker dollar and massive inflation on necessity items such as energy and food. If you have wealth to protect, please visit my friends at Austin Rare Coins and Bullion. Gabe Elton and the folks at Austin Rare Coins and Bullion have many Wide Awake News customers because they're honest, they're fair, and they won't sell you paper promises or product they do not have. Call Gabe Elton at 800-552-4109. That number again, 800-552-4109, or visit them online at austincoins.com.
Remember this name, Carnivora. That's CARNIVORA.com. What if I told you that this 100% pure and natural product was delivered directly to the White House at President Reagan's personal request at a time when only the president was able to obtain it? Reagan used this amazing product, Carnivora, successfully, a product derived only from nature that has the intelligence to instinctively attack abnormal cells only without harming a single normal cell, and the power to actually wake up critical immune cells from dormancy to attack foreign invaders that don't belong in our bodies. Carnivora is now obtainable by anyone who wants to get healthy and stay that way. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY and protect yourself with 17 naturally occurring compounds that will unleash powerful immune defense. That's 1-866-VENUS-FLY. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY and get your Carnivora today. Visit carnivora.com.
Have you ever wanted to generate your own supply of electrical power, even save money on your electric bill? If so, this is going to be the most important message you will ever hear. Solar power generators are now available. These emergency backup systems provide life-saving electrical power when you need it most. Unlike gas generators, a solar generator runs quietly, emits no fumes, and produces electricity from the sun. It's like having an electric power plant running quietly in your own home. Run sump pumps, shortwave radios, computers, and even keep your food from spoiling. Whether it's hurricanes, ice storms, brownouts, or blackouts, you'll never suffer through painful power outages again. And here's the best news, a remarkable fall truckload sale going on right now that gets you $1,700 in bonuses when you buy a solar generator. To find out why solar generators are the best generators and get $1,700 for doing so, go to falltruckloadsale.com. That's falltruckloadsale.com. Generate your own supply of electricity. Go to falltruckloadsale.com. That's falltruckloadsale.com.
Will 2012 bring the Mayan end of world or the global banking collapse? In 2007, one man, Mike Dillard, made 5 predictions which forecasted the 2008 economic crisis and the pending Eurozone collapse. This week, Mike unleashes 3 brand new, shocking, must-watch videos with predictions for the coming year. www.the3videos.com. Over the past year, Mike Dillard has helped thousands of ordinary people create and recover wealth by tapping into the black box investing strategies the big banks don't want you to know about. www.the3videos.com. As the European banking system implodes and governments collapse at breakneck speeds, the next 12 months will be the most anticipated and important months in modern human history. This will make 2008 look like a walk in the park. Everyone will be affected. Go to www.the3videos.com now. Learn how to prepare your family and prosper during the global financial collapse.
Okay, guys, welcome back to Wide Awake News Radio. I'm Charlie McGrath, your host. We have Reginald, also known as Dimcad from YouTube, and Chris Atkin of buyemergencyfoods.com. This is our last segment for Reginald, so if you have a question for him, put it into chat, and I'll do my best to try to pull it out of there, or call in 877-342-6673. Reginald, where do we go from here, man? You and I and Chris were talking during the break that I was stunned. I was stunned at how fast things started to come apart after the election. Now, of course, the neocons are going to say, yeah, we got Obama and Wall Street hates it. But I figured we'd have a little bit of a glow-after-glow period, a little honeymoon period, up until the fiscal cliff governed by crisis event that we're going to be treated to here in the coming weeks. But to see the next day down 300 on the Dow, Europe falling apart, in Greece with riots, and then 48 hours later, altercations with Iran. Give us your predictions.
Well, I see this whole financial situation in the U.S. and the economic crisis in Europe as being sticks of dynamite. The fuse has already been lit. And they were trying to hold on until after the election. There is no grace period. The fuse is already burning. They had to throw those things. They're trying to get rid of this crap. It's going to go off. There wasn't going to be a grace period. And it seemed pretty obvious to me that there's no way they can really stop this. Like I said, the fiscal situation in the U.S., it can't be resolved with our current political will. It's just no way. And even if they did cut into those entitlements, I mean, the amount of people were depending on them, it's going to be a catastrophe no matter how you spin it. People are just going to be hurting badly. There's no way out of it without a total and complete collapse.
Yeah,
and that's something. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, you're right. You're right. And again, I know you've talked about it in your videos and you've talked about it on this program. I've talked about it. What Reginald says is exactly right. There's no way forward that does not involve one word: pain. So all this legislation we dealt with for a decade, all this expansion of the security industrial complex, all these rounds of ammunition going to agencies like NOAA and Social Security. Guess what? That isn't there to protect you from terrorists coming into the country. It's there because I believe they understand where we're heading, and they understand that more and more people are going to become more and more pissed off, and they're going to use this apparatus, this expansion of the security complex to not protect the people, but to control the people.
National Defense Authorization Act.
Yep.
Read it again. Okay, they're not talking about terrorists. They're talking about mad people. They're talking about people rioting. The idea of the military grabbing people and without any trial or any charges. Does that sound like they're really realistically dealing with terrorists? That sounds like something you would do when you're dealing with a massive group of people. Grabbing people without a trial, without a charge, and detaining them indefinitely. There's a reason why they put National Defense Authorization Act in. That's going to be the future, the near future. Because people are going to be angry, people will be rioting, and when this happens, systems will break down. Things that you rely on to survive will break down. It's going to be up to you to supplement. It's going to be up to you to provide your own source of survival. And you see the retail stores getting more and more desperate. Now they're talking about, Walmart's talking about, oh, now we're going to have a special Black Friday sale at 8 p.m. on Thanksgiving. What's next? You get up on Thanksgiving and stand in line all damn day instead of spending time with your family to get cheap crap?
Yeah. You probably saw the report today. McDonald's for the first time in a decade has seen a decline in hamburger sales. I mean, I know that's anecdotal, but look, every charade.
It's McDonald's.
What's that?
It's McDonald's.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, we got Reginald for another minute and a half, and we got Adam from Georgia calling for you. So let's get Adam on real quick. Adam, what is your question for Reggie?
My question, Reginald, is that what do you think Obama will do within the next 4 years that will completely destroy this country? What do you think he's going to implement within the next 4 years that will be the final domino that topples this country over?
Oh, the final nail has been in the coffin for a very long time. Obama isn't there to do much of anything. He's just there to keep people calm. He's just a spokesman. Okay, national defense authorization, that was going to get signed no matter who was president. The final nail has been in the coffin for a long time. NAFTA, globalization, sending jobs over the seas. There's nothing he can really do to really save this. There's nothing that Romney could have did to really save this. The nail's already been in the coffin. People worry about, well, what is Obama going to do next? He's just a spokesman. You know that T-Mobile commercial? I think it's T-Mobile or whatever, with that really pretty brunette who rides that motorcycle, that pink motorcycle. You know,
naming the cities.
Yeah, she's not even riding her own motorcycle. They probably have a stunt double to do that. Okay, that's what the president is.
All right. Well, Reg, you still there?
Yes.
All right. He's holding the music for us. Adam, I appreciate the call. Sorry we had to abbreviate it, but Reg has got to go do his thing, and I appreciate you coming on here and sharing your thoughts with us, and we'll get you back on again real soon, Reginald.
All right. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to be back in just a minute with Chris Atkin of BuyEmergencyFoods.com. Hang tight. Charlie McGrath of WideAwakeNews.com here with a message about Legacy Premium freeze-dried storable food, available at BuyEmergencyFoods.com. I recently returned from a trip to the manufacturing facility, and I'm here to tell you it was impressive. Over 50 employees working hard to produce the highest quality, best tasting, most healthy, certified GMO-free freeze-dried storable food on the market. And now that I've been to the manufacturing facility, I can tell you, from receiving to production to shipping, these guys have one thing in mind. That is quality. Plain and simple. Please, do yourself, do your loved ones a favor. Be prepared for an uncertain future with Legacy Premium freeze-dried storable foods available at BuyEmergencyFoods.com. You can call them at 888-543-7345. That number again, 888-543-7345. Or better yet, visit them online at BuyEmergencyFoods.com.
You're listening to Charlie nationwide and worldwide on the Internet, on the Rense Radio Network. Known worldwide as the most consistently fascinating, informative, and unique program on radio, the Jeff Rense program can be yours to listen to anytime, anywhere, whenever you want to hear it. For pennies a day, our subscribers can download any of Jeff's thousands of programs featuring a treasury of newsmakers, researchers, eyewitnesses, and incredible subjects, all in MP3 commercial-free, crystal-clear 56-bit digital sound, and take these often unforgettable programs with them wherever they go. As a subscriber, you can also listen live at airtime, online, anywhere in the world, or browse through our archives of over 10,000 hours of legendary broadcasts. Subscribe now by taking the link at the top of Rense.com. And enrich your mind with the most unique panorama of vital information and the best independent, honest journalism in radio. Look for the Subscribe Now link on Rense.com and give yourself the knowledge you need for these unprecedented times.
Heart-related health problems affect millions of people each year. Maybe you're one of the many who suffer from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, unbalanced cholesterol, irregular heartbeat, or clogged arteries. There is a solution that doesn't involve expensive prescription drugs that only mask the problem and leave you with horrible side effects. If you are ready to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself, then you're ready for Heart and Body Extract from Healthy Hearts Club. Heart and Body Extract has a 23-year proven track record of using certified organic herbs that make up an excellent formula to balance and support the heart and circulatory system. In as little as 2 weeks, you can feel amazing results when your 2-month supply of Heart and Body Extract today. Call 1-866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Guys, welcome back to Wide Awake News Radio. I want to thank Reginald for taking time out tonight to come on and give us his take on the election and where we think we're going. And guys, you've heard him on this program before. I mean, he sounded pretty heated, pretty adamant. You know that this is the point of no return. I could not agree with that more. I put out a video tonight, and it's posted right now, and it's to this line, to this line of it's game over. I mean, the collapse that a lot of people have been waiting for. Guess what? It's already happened. It's just the realization of it hasn't swept the nation yet, hasn't swept the planet yet. But everything that needs to be done, every piece of legislation that needs to be put in place, every piece of apparatus to control the populace is in place. Now, I got a message that I want to give to the folks who might be listening to this program that still believe in the left-right, blue-red paradigm, because there's folks even here in alternative media that truly believe that they're slighted with the election of Obama, or they somehow would have been better with the election of Romney. We need to understand, without a shadow of a doubt, where we are right now, because it isn't no more we're going to see where we're at now, and then we'll see how things plan out in the midterm election. There is absolutely no way on this earth that we're going to see a change that benefits the people of this country. I'm going to give you just a few examples. I'm going to make it really, really clear. In the year 2007, 4.6% was the U3 unemployment number. They jiggered the participation rate, and with that jiggering from 63% to 58.8%, lowering it, they give us an unemployment rate of 8% in 2012, from 4.6 to 8% in 2012, with having to manipulate the participation rate to get us there. This is on the back of literally trillions of dollars that have been spent to rescue this economy. This decline or this increase in the unemployment rate, this isn't helping the middle class. This isn't helping Main Street. This isn't the promises that we've been given by both teams that we're going to fix the economy and things are going to be better. The evidence points to exactly the opposite of that. Let me continue in the income realm. The average median income for a home in this country, $55,039. That's the average median income. That was in 2007. In 2012, again, trillions of dollars being spent. $50,500, $5,000 decline. Middle class was not even an afterthought in legislation that we've seen over the last several years. Big banks were the forethought and the only thing that was in consideration when everything that has been done over the past half a decade. Net worth, the average net worth, $126,000 in the year 2007. In 2012, this is important, because understand this. The net worth of the people of this country, the average person in this country, was $126,000 just a few short years ago. Today, $77,300, a decline of 39%. 39%. What else is 39%? The increase in government spending from $2.73 trillion in 2007 to $3.8 trillion in 2012. You see the correlation? 39% decline in your net worth, a 39% increase in the government spending. Now, that's a double whammy. You're losing net worth on the front end, and you're getting sovereign debt because government spending you are responsible for. You, if you're listening and you think you're in the red or blue camp, you just got a double whammy over the last 4 years, a decline of 39% and an increase in your sovereign debt by that exact same 39%. It's no wonder our deficits went from $9 trillion in 2007 and rose 81% to $16 trillion in 2012. And Harry Reid today, on this very day, 48 hours after the election, governing by crisis once again, promised the people that he would raise the debt ceiling from 16 plus trillion to 18 trillion if he needed to, or whatever trillion that he needed to, in order to prevent an economic abyss from enveloping this country. But guess what? The abyss is coming. It is coming. It's going to be here. Many people are not going to be ready for it because they just don't want to bust away from the mainstream media. So I've given you these statistics that show the health of the average person on Main Street over the last several years. 4.6% unemployment to 8% unemployment from 2007 to 2012. Income, median household income, $55,000 down to $50,000, a decline. Net worth, $126,000 to $77,000, 39% decline. Housing sales went from $5.7 million to $4.3 million, a decline. The value of those homes fell from $218,000 to $183,000. Again, a kick in the gut to middle class, a decline. Government spending, 39% increase. Deficit, nearly doubling from 9 trillion to 16 trillion, with the promise on this day of expanding it to infinity. So who benefited? Who benefits? Who benefits yesterday? Who benefits today? Who will benefit tomorrow? If we look at one place and one place only, we see who's governing our country. Too big to fail institutions on Wall Street. In 2007, the same metrics we're using to see the decline of the middle class, the decline of Main Street, 2007, the too big to fail institution controlled 66% of the economy. 66%. A shocking amount. In 2012, after the world has been led into what they're calling the Great Recession, which we really know is going to be a lifestyle-changing depression, after trillions of dollars have been spent, after countless hours of mainstream media propaganda telling us that legislation has been passed and our representatives have our best interest in heart, things like Dodd-Frank are going to fix the problem. After 5 years, trillions of dollars, countless promises, the too big to fail institutions go from controlling 66% of our economy to controlling 74% of our economy. They can borrow money in a never-ending stream at zero from the Federal Reserve that they just so happen to control, and then lend it back to the same government so you and I can be led down the path of even more sovereign debt. Pay attention, understand, there's no red Republican or blue Democrat. There's one party when those cameras go off. There's one party when those doors are closed, and it's green. The financial special interests control this party. They write the legislation. They will dictate our financial future, and they will implement a true crisis of reality in order to fully implement their agenda. Don't believe me? Look at Europe. Look at Greece. You have a battle zone inside of Athens. But Charlie, the people of Greece, they live way beyond their means. They retired when they were 15 years old, and they run up debt to the moon. Think about it. The people in Greece, on average, carry $35,000 in debt, their sovereign debt on their backs. The people of the United States of America in 2012, $56,000 per man, woman, and child. This is the reality. We are heading for a collapse. We're heading for a crash that's going to make 2008, it's going to make the crash of the 30s look like a walk in the park. This is absolutely, I believe, 100% inevitable. All right, let's bring on birthday boy Chris Atkins of BuyEmergencyFoods.com. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Chris, and hanging out for 5 minutes and not saying a word.
Man, I'm just enjoying the show just like everyone else. I do have to say, you're really good with numbers. I mean, do you have a cheat sheet for all those things, or is that in your mind? What's going on there? That's amazing.
Well, some of them were in front of me. Some of them were just stuff I've read. But you know what? I mean, I get calls from people around the country, and some of them are, you know, I'm in the business world, right? So some of them are red state Republicans, and some of them are folks that are working in a yard, or you know, they're working in the forest, in the forest industry, and they're more blue state Democrats. And on this day, I mean, even on this day, I've had 2 different conversations with 2 different people that are that I've known for years, that I've tried to enlighten with the true reality of where we're at, and they're just so sold out on the current paradigm. It really, really, it terrifies me, because we're going to be led into this, and we're going to be fighting each other tooth and nail all the way there. And you know, then we will not hold accountable the people who brought us here, perp walk a bunch of people, put them in prison until they die. We will, you know, we'll sit here and fight each other. Well, I took up that whole segment. All right, Chris Atkins, hang tight. We're going to be back, talk about BuyEmergencyFoods.com, talk about some specials, talk about the necessity for being ready. We're going to be back with Chris from BuyEmergencyFoods.com and more Wide Awake News Radio in just a few minutes. Hang tight. Hey guys, Charlie McGrath here at WideAwakeNews.com, and I'm here to tell you I believe that Chris and the folks over at SeedsNow.com offer the best product at the best prices with the best service of anybody in the market. But don't take my word for it. Listen to what some of their customers have to say. Joshua in Florida writes, exceeded my expectations. Shipping was prompt, and a number of my plants are already starting to sprout. Thanks for being great. And Ryan in California writes, I just received my Homestead Seed Bank, my all-in-one prepper pack, and seed-to-seed storage and growing guidebook, and I could not be more pleased. Thanks, Seeds Now. Now I can start growing and get off the GMOs. Keep up the great work. And the list goes on and on. Guys, it's time to make seedsnow.com an integral part of your long-term preparedness strategy. Please call them at 877-344-4669. That number again, 877-344-4669. Or better yet, visit them today at seedsnow.com.
If you're taking 1, 2, 5, or more nutritional supplements, please stop. Simplify your supplementation with Bio Superfood, the most advanced nutritional whole food supplement you can buy. Men, women, children, even Olympic athletes the world over have discovered Bio Superfood from BioAge.com. And now take just one nutritional supplement instead of many. The Bio Superfood formulas are whole food products composed with 4 of the most nutrient-dense algae found on Earth. Bio Superfood for the brain helps with focus, memory, clarity, and mood. If you can increase brain health, the rest of the body is a no-brainer. Bio Superfood has 0 toxicity and is safe for you and your family. Learn more and order your Bio Superfood formulas at BioAge.com, spelled BIOAGE.com, BioAge.com, or call 877-288-9116. That's 877-288-9116. BioAge, the age of advanced organics.
Are chemtrail geoengineering programs changing our weather and destroying our environment? Why in the world are they spraying?
They want to create a storm in the southeast, then they'll start engineering out over the North Pacific. That's where the trailies will be.
Find out why critics are calling Why in the World Are They Spraying the most important film that is revolutionizing the environmental movement.
It's just going to get worse until the point where we're not going to be able to grow anything at all unless it's a Monsanto genetically modified, abiotic stress resistant seed.
Why in the world are they spraying? New international version with languages available from around the world. For 1 month, Rinse listeners receive free shipping. Go to the banner on the front of the Rinse website and click on the link for more info.
It's all about money, and weather is another form of commoditizing, the way the Central Command Group can commoditize another form of our life.
Why in the world are they spraying?
And if you control the weather, you're going to control the planet. It's that simple.
Make a promise, take a vow, trust you feel, it's easy now. Understand the voice within and feel a change already beginning. Oh, won't you tell me again? Oh, can you feel it?
Guys, welcome back to WideAwakeNews.com. Chris Atkin of BuyEmergencyFood.com is our guest for this final segment. I'm actually going to shut up and let him talk for a minute. Chris, thank you once again. Thanks for supporting alternative media, supporting Wide Awake News Radio. I see we have Doug Newberry. He was in the chat a minute ago anyway, and I know you support his efforts and his program as well. Let's get into it. I mean, you heard what we talked about the last 45 minutes. Did you see? I was curious to ask you this. Did you see immediately after this election, because we had our gold guy on here a week or two back, and he talked about a lot of people are still bought into the left-right, waiting to see who would be elected. If Obama was elected, they were going to flood him with dollars and get gold. And Romney was elected, they were going to flood equities and try to catch the Wall Street bandwagon. With this election, with everything that's transpired in 48 hours since then, are you seeing a spike?
Well, we're seeing pretty consistent growth and a spike, but in our industry, I mean, it takes a little while for people to taste our stuff, taste the competitor's stuff, and then save up the money to buy a package. So there's a couple weeks lag in it, but we are seeing really healthy visits right now to the site, and in a couple of weeks from now, people will be ordering. And yeah, I mean, I think people are freaked out a little bit. Even though, again, those are the people, most of them, like we talked about in the break, most of them are still buying into the paradigm. And so they're, in my opinion, it didn't matter who won. We're still on the same road. Doug Newberry had a really cool car analogy, for the whole situation. But yeah, I mean, we're on the same road and we're about to fly off that cliff, so.
Yeah. No, I agree. And a matter of fact, the day after the election, I sent Chris a message saying, "Okay, I'm ordering some more. Tell me, give me the latest product that you got, because I'm ready to order some more, because I think people are starting to freak out, because it's what I truly saw." All right, let's get into the product a little bit. You guys have heard me talk about it. You've heard me talk about it on the radio spots. Some of you have heard me, the folks listening on Oracle. You've heard me on Doug Newberry's program, the commercial there. BuyEmergencyFoods.com is, they're not only just reselling somebody else's stuff. You have the other guys out there that I won't mention, but there's a half dozen other bigger players in the freeze-dried emergency food. But Buy Emergency Food actually owns. They're not reselling. They're not buying something from somewhere, putting it in their package and reselling it. They own the product line themselves. The product line is Legacy Premium freeze-dried storable food. And, Legacy Premium, without a doubt, and Chris, since you're here, I'm going to let you say it, but without a doubt, it's the most healthy, best tasting, and best value freeze-dried storable food of any of these guys that we're going to talk about. But give us a reason, give us an example of why it's a better food, why it's a better value, and give us your reasoning for going for this high-end, high-quality product.
Okay, well, let me just rewind. We started as a company selling the other guy's stuff.
That's right. That's a good point.
And the problem was that they couldn't fulfill. They had horrible customer service. And so we just said, you know what? We can do this better. We partnered up with the people that made Bear Creek Soup brand. Those guys they sold their company to a bigger company, but they were, and I think they still are, nationwide in all the grocery stores. So these guys know how to make food. We partnered with them, and we said, we understand this marketplace. I'm a prepper. I know what this is all about and what people are looking for. So we came out with our initial product. Everyone loved it. It was great, but we had a lot of feedback, with the initial product. Things like, hey, can you do a certified GMO-free offering? Can you reduce that sodium? Can you take out the artificial flavorings? And so we listened to all that, believe it or not. I think there are still some companies that do listen to their customers. We're one of those, and we took all that feedback, and we said, yeah, we can improve this. Yeah, it's going to cost us a little bit more to put some oxygen absorbers in there and to upgrade the packaging, but it's worth it to provide the best product. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, this is emergency food, but we want it to be the highest quality to where you could eat it any time if you really want to feed your family one night with the Alfredo. It's that high of quality. You're not going to be grossed out and hating yourself that you bought this. In an emergency. So.
Well, and you saw the video I did. I went out and did an emergency plan where I had to, the scenario was a guy had to get home from work, but he couldn't use his car, and he didn't want to involve himself with any riots or civil unrest, so he trekked through the woods to get home, and we took that, and that's what we ate on there, and I'd eaten it before then, but you're right, it is really, really tasty food. I've never really dabbled. I've had other freeze-dried food. I still have some of it because I haven't got into it. But after I got some samples years, I got into some of the other stuff, and you're exactly right. It was a world of difference between the two. Before we run out of time, I did put a question in. Eric does anybody have questions for Chris? Eric wants to know when he can go visit the plant. I'm pretty sure he'd let you visit the plant anytime you want. And I'll say that. The guys that haven't heard that story before, I went down to Salt Lake where the facility is, and I toured it, and I was really, really impressed. I was expecting to see something a little bit smaller. I was expecting to see, I've been to facilities, I've been to manufacturing facilities all over the country and all over the world for that matter. And usually it's the mantra is efficiency. The mantra is getting stuff in and getting it out, but that's not the case. First of all, I was impressed by the size. Because it was a fairly large operation you have going there, creating 50 jobs in that region. And I was impressed by the talk from everybody from receiving to shipping to production was about quality, making sure that it was high quality, getting the orders in, but getting them in and getting them filled right, and then getting them out the door. So, Eric, I'm sure that we could get you out there and check it out.
We could do that. And just let me tell everybody, though, we're excited because we launched our new improved line. So it's now certified, 100% certified GMO-free. We've increased the calories per serving by 77%. We've decreased sodium by 50%. We've removed all the artificial flavorings, so we have only natural flavorings. We added a bunch of entrees like mac and cheese and chili mac and pancakes. I mean, so we now have the best variety out there, and so I really want people, if they're interested in this kind of food, give us a shot, get a sample, and you will be amazed.
All right, now I want to get into this quick because we got about 4 minutes left. I've said on commercials, and I could back it up, but I'm going to make you back it up. I've said on commercials, it's the best tasting. I mean, you could take, order a sample and try it. You'll agree with that, or you can take my word for it. It's the most healthy. You're the only one certified 100% non-GMO, GMO-free, 100%. The only one. I'm going to stress that. On the internet, people can say anything, right? And people can make any claim they want. But you are certified. You have a certification that there's no GMOs in your product. But now I want you to tell us, why is it the best value? I'm looking at, and I put into the chat room, the page, the comparison chart for the Premium 720. And I want you to explain to me how this Legacy Premium is a better value than the other guys we have listed on that. And then, do you want me to mention these other guys or not? I don't really care.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't care.
All right, so we're going to do a comparison in 3 minutes between Legacy, eFoods Direct, Wise, Food Insurance, I don't even know who those guys are, Daily Bread, and Emergency Essential. Now, remember, when you hear these other names and you see them on other sites, in most cases, these are resellers. They're buying someone else's stuff and sending it out the door. Buy Emergency Foods owns Legacy Premium. So why are we a better value? We can start with cost. $1,430 for 720 servings, correct?
Yeah, but it's really what I really want people to look at. If you go to our website, byemergencyfoods.com, and you go to the product info tab, you'll see the best value in the industry page, and this is the comparison chart. We've gone through and it took us several hours, many hours to compile all this data because we want people to see. I mean, if you compare how many total calories we have for a comparable package, we smoke the competition, we crush them. The cost per day for our stuff is $10.89. That's at a 2,000 calorie day. Let's see, one of our competitors is at $26, almost 3 times the price.
Yeah,
per day.
Your nearest competitor is $17. So
yeah,
$10
right.
versus $17.
So, but not only that. It's not just about price. I mean, we're actually giving people way more calories. So the total package weight of our stuff for this particular package, the Premium 720, is 184 pounds. And, we have competitors. The rest of our competitors are about 120, 130 right in there. Mm-hmm. The average calories per serving on our stuff in this package is 340. 340 per serving. The other guys are like, what, 180, 220?
180 to 250. I mean, you're almost 100 higher, at minimum, 100 higher than everybody else.
Exactly.
And $7 less expensive than the nearest competitor. So, yeah.
So if you were to, we had another row. We added another row where if you were to do the math, if you wanted to have a full year at 2,000 calories a day per one person, it would cost, if you bought our package, it'd be $3,900 approximately. And we have some of our competitors here that are closer to $10,000. But even the closest competitor is $6,200.
Right.
So I mean, you just look at the math, and you see that we're delivering such a great value. But above and beyond the value, it is the most healthy, 100% certified, free, GMO free, no MSG, no artificial flavorings. We have gluten-free options. We do the nitrogen flush, and we do the oxygen absorbers. And then here's the other row that's interesting: residual oxygen content. Ours, on average, we had it tested by a third party, is 0.48% residual oxygen content inside the pouch. And the only other third party test that we know about is Wise Foods, and theirs is 18.25%. Dude, it's crazy. We killed them.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the chart now, and you know me, during the break I was breaking it down to cost per serving, so because I like to break things down to the very, very minimum, and under $2 a serving, which is far less than these other guys. But I've like I said, I've been there, I've seen it, I've tasted it, I've eaten it, I have it, I own it. And guys, you've heard the first 2 hours of this program. You understand where we're at. You know, you first and foremost mentally prepare for what's coming. Understand where we're at. Get yourself water and emergency food, so you do not have to be out in any kind of civil unrest or social unrest. You don't have to be out in the midst of any disaster, man-made or otherwise. Chris Atkin, buyemergencyfoods.com is his website. I appreciate you coming on here. Any promo code real quick that we're doing tonight?
Next time. Next time.
All right,
Thanks, Charlie.